12 years after being diagnosed with an incurable blood cancer, an Ocean County mom and widow continues to prove there's no obstacle she can't overcome and encourages others going through adversity. Hi, I'm Dianne DeOliveira, and joining me this morning is Sally Kalksma of Pine Beach, a personal friend, a fellow runner, and one of the bravest women I know, who I consider a real Wonder Woman.
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
do. I'm going to get upset talking about this.
Dianne.
This is too close to home. So I had never heard of multiple myeloma until you were diagnosed in 2008. And
I could take it from here if you'd like. You just hold on, because this is very personal to me. It's very personal to Dianne. And a lot of you probably never heard of multiple myeloma, but everybody is affected by some type of cancer. And unfortunately, it hit home, multiple myeloma, for myself and for Dianne, and I'm very sorry. However, what multiple myeloma is, it's a stem cell cancer. It's in your white cells, your plasma, and it eats away at your bone, and it eats away at your immune system. I was diagnosed 12 years ago, thank God, in the early stages, and my doctor at the University of Penn watches me very closely.
yes, and what I wanted to say, I'm getting emotional because I actually lost my cousin Maria just this past week to multiple myeloma. She was 57, and I didn't expect to be emotional doing this. But I wanted to say that, your personality, you were always so bubbly, always so positive and upbeat, and despite your diagnosis, you're still like this.
I don't know if I'm just crazy or I just love life, or it's both. I just believe we're just here for such a short period of time. No matter what life throws at us, we have to make the best of it, find humor in it, and have fun with it, because you just never know. Your cousin is my age, and that hit home too. And I have another dear friend I met through the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation who's not doing as well as me, and it hurts. It's scary, and it's a wake-up call.
But I want to talk about all the positive things you're doing. There's good coming out of this. You were a runner before, and when you say you have to find humor in things, I find it very humorous that you find joy in climbing up hundreds of stairs. Sally does these crazy stair runs like the Sears Tower, the Empire State Building. I mean, I can barely walk up a flight of stairs, and here you are racing up them and doing amazing.
Dianne, if you got in the race with me, I would hate it because you would beat me.
I would not, trust me.
I don't know why I'm doing so well at this. I think it's because I take my aggravations out on the stairs.
But why stairs? Why not a 5K? Is it too difficult to do that distance?
No, what happened was, if you remember when I was diagnosed 12 years ago, my husband was diagnosed that year with cancer also, and he passed.
Yes.
And I had to go back to work full time. I had the best part-time job ever, facilitating events. You used to do the
Yes.
Pine Beach 5K, and I would run, and I had so much time to be active. Then I went back to work full time to support my children, and I felt like a caged animal in a basement. So at lunch, I would run up the stairs and take my aggravations out, because after work, I had to be with my children. So I just climbed stairs at lunch, and then when they graduated, I did it after. And then the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation heard about this, and they invited me to the invite-only prestigious Empire State Building run-up.
And now you are like ranked in the world in this.
Well, before my stem cell transplant, yes, I was ranked 20th overall female in the world by the World Tower Association and 5th in the nation. I'm not quite there yet. Hopefully I can. I keep striving. I think last year I was about 50th, 2 years out of my transplant. But yeah, I love it, because I get in that stairwell, and I just take my aggravations out, grab that railing, and go.
And what's so amazing too is 4 months after your stem cell transplant, you went out and ran a 5 mile race.
Yes, I did, the Spring Lake 5. I was lying in the hospital bed. You know how hard it is to get into that race. You have to get up at 5 in the morning and click on and hope you got an
Yes.
entry. Well, the nurses were in doing my vitals, and I said, you know what? I'm signing up. It'll give me something to work for. And believe me, it wasn't my best. Well, actually, it was probably my worst. But
No,
I
it
did it.
wasn't.
I had fun. I did it with our good friend Pam. I did it with our friend Linda, my sister Joanne. And oh my gosh, it was great. I saw Dave DeMonico along the way, stop for a picture. I saw the old race director, Phil Hink, and it was just like, it was so good to be back with everybody.
And to feel like, okay, I'm back to my normal self. You know, I still have
I-
this disease, but I'm beating it.
I was back to my normal self because I was back at Bar A having a drink with everybody after Diane.
Oh, and you know what? You crack me up though. You're still your energy. If I could just have a tenth of your energy, it would be amazing. But I like the fact too. You know, even though you're still living, you have multiple myeloma. It's an incurable disease. We talked about that. You did go through the stem cell transplant. That was a couple of weeks, right? That you were isolated in the hospital.
Yes, that is quite a procedure. Before your transplant, they have to do a cocktail of different chemotherapies to knock the multiple myeloma out of your system. They can't put healthy cells in your body if you still have multiple myeloma. So after this cocktail, 2 of which the 5 chemos are very heavy, that's where you lose your hair
Yeah.
and you're sick. And before that, they also have to go through what's called the harvesting, where they take all your cells out. It took a week to get all my cells out. Then you're in the hospital. I was in for 3 weeks with the transplant, and you're rock bottom. You have no immune system, anything, and they just hope that these healthy cells take, and your immune system comes back and you're healthy, and it worked for me.
I want to talk about how you're doing today and what you're doing right
Okay.
now. I just want to remind our listeners, if you're just tuning in, I'm Dianne DeOliveira, and joining me is Sally Kalksma. She is a personal friend. She's from Pine Beach. She is a fellow runner, and she is living with multiple myeloma, but is proof. You know, she was diagnosed back in 12 years ago, and here she is, you know, raising money for the Multiple Myeloma Foundation. So currently, you have no signs of multiple myeloma, but you're still under maintenance therapy, I guess.
That's correct. I take a form of chemotherapy. It's called Revlimid. It's a pill. I was taking it every day, but the side effects got to me, so my doctor monitored me, and now I take it every other night, and it's keeping me in remission. It gets a little intense at times, the side effects, but hey, we're all getting older. We're on blood thinners, heart medicine, whatever. I'm on chemo. That's how I look at it.
I mean, just the way you approach everything is truly amazing. I'm serious. I hope other people that are, you know, in any type of cancer are just hearing this and getting hope. I'm getting emotional again, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, Diane, I'm sorry.
I want to talk about a blog that you just published.
Yes.
And so let's talk about that, because this is a big deal. So tell me about the blog.
Okay, you are referring to the blog where I think it's very important to get 3 opinions
Yes,
when
absolutely.
you're diagnosed with any
Yes.
type of illness. As I wrote, people will research weed whackers, but they don't research their
I
doctors.
think you're so right. It's true.
Yeah, I got 3 opinions, and 2 of them were world-renowned doctors in their field, multiple myeloma specialists. And one wanted to start me on chemo right away, and my husband was sick, and I am so glad I did. I can't even imagine going through chemotherapy and losing my husband at the same time.
Yeah.
So I went with a doctor that said, "You're still in the smoldering stage. You're beautiful. Get out of here. I'm not treating you till you hit a magic number. You keep running and drinking and enjoy life."
So that's what the doctor said to you.
That is his exact words. And once he got me better, he said, "Go back to enjoying life." I would go for my checkups. I'd be like, "You know, is it okay if I have a couple drinks?" "Yes, I got you better so you could go back to enjoying your life."
That's amazing.
Yes.
I mean, and you stuck with that doctor.
I
That's
have
the
been
doctor-
with him. I see that doctor every 3 to 6 months. I look forward to seeing that doctor Every patient in the waiting room does not mind waiting for him. He's that good. He has that great of a bedside manner.
Now, what made you, obviously, it was a major thing, so of course you took the time to research, but like you said, people will research a weed whacker more. But I don't know why that is. Do you think when people just maybe hear the word cancer, their automatic thought is, do what you ever have to do, get it out of me, you know, and they just trust what the doctor tells them.
That's what they do, but I never heard of multiple myeloma before
I
I got
never
it.
did either.
So I started reading up on the cancer. I started reading up on the different treatment options. I started looking up different foundations like the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation, the International Myeloma Foundation, even the Leukemia Lymphoma Foundation. All of those which help multiple myeloma patients. I started speaking to other patients, and that's when I found these doctors.
And you also have a book.
Yes.
That's so exciting. I don't even know how you have time. I'm exhausted trying to keep up with everything you're doing with living with a multiple myeloma. How are you doing all of this?
It's time management. It's definitely allotting a certain amount of time. And sure, you know what? I might excel and be better at stair climbing if I put more time into the stair climbing, less into the writing. And then I'm like, no, I might injure myself. Let's do a perfect balance.
Yeah.
So it's all about balancing. Right now, I'm really getting into my blogging, and it's taking away a little bit from my book. So I think my blogs are going to go to every other week instead of every week so I could get this book finished. And my book is exactly about this. Life gets in the way. You're on one path, something happens, you have to take another path, but you make the best of it and you have fun with it.
And you're honestly, I'm not just, you're such an example of, it's just amazing to me. And you have 3 children too. I mean, yes, they're adults now, but you know, 3 children that you also take care of or took care of at the time.
Yes, I'm so proud of the young adults that they become. They're so successful and they're good human beings. And so
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So.
Well, when I start getting a little crazy, I think, uh-oh, my children are watching. Not uh-oh, my mom's watching. My children are watching. I better be a good example.
Now, I want to just discuss, too, how people can help and what types of things they can do. Obviously, donations are always needed for the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. But besides that, one thing that I know when we mentioned about the stem cell transplant, people get swabbed to try to become donors. That was something we all did. Even my cousin's kids, none of us were a close enough match to be able to do that. But just can you explain a little bit about that process? Because you had to use your own stem cells as well.
I did. First, they like to try using your own healthy cells. That's where they have to knock all the multiple myeloma out of you and take your healthy cells. They'll try 1 or 2 times with healthy. If it doesn't work, they will go into the blood bank to look for stem cells that are a perfect match. Now, it's not like blood type where you're A, you're O, positive, whatever. Stem cells have to be a perfect match. It's a needle in a haystack.
Yes.
So I do know some fellow warriors that got their stem cells from people overseas. So it's so important. It's so easy to donate. You could be helping a child 1,000 miles away, but you're helping. So donating blood, donating stem cells, donating your time.
I think people get scared. I don't think they understand what's involved in a stem cell donation. So it is a pretty lengthy process if they determine that you are a match. It's not like you're going in tomorrow. It's a lot involved.
Correct. Yes, it is. But it is as easy as giving blood.
It is, yes.
It's just them taking it, and you'll feel so good about yourself. When we have the blood donations at work and everybody goes and they donate blood, I tell my coworkers, thank you. You might not be my type, but you're helping somebody.
Someone.
And someone out there is helping me. When one of my children needed, I think she needed 3 blood transfusions because my twins were 3 months early. I didn't know where that blood was coming from, but thank God there were people out there that donated and helped her.
So for people, how are other ways that people can help? You're doing your stair climbs to raise money.
Raise money, raise awareness, because people are like, what the heck is climbing stairs? And it has raised so much awareness. Volunteer.
Yeah.
Find a cancer organization that is chairing a walk or a run or some type of event. They always need volunteers.
Sure.
So if you don't have the money, you don't have the time to go give blood, go to one of these events. They're so much fun. You'll meet a great group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a website, or where can we read your blogs? Do you want to give out that information as well?
Yes, you could go to my website. It's sallykalksma.com. SallyKalksma.com. And you can even sign up for updates.
Sally, thank you so much. I can't believe we're out of time already,
Oh.
but you continue to inspire me, and I hope thousands of others hear this and will be inspired as well.
Oh, Diane, thank you again for taking the time to have me on.